This is the ultimate lightning thrower build, and it's super easy to do. It is going to be one of those builds that come in late game, and it's not min-max, it's not optimal, but it's a lot of fun. So let's crack through it. We will of course start with our Sorcerer class. Gives us a Constitution saving throw proficiency. This is perfect for keeping our concentration up, and a Charisma saving throw proficiency, which is also very handy. Now, flavour of this is we are going to be a lightning thrower. Imagine like a Thor, but not quite as beefy. So to start, we're going to take Blade Ward. Only take half damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing attacks. We are going to take Minor Illusion. We are going to take Shocking Grasp, of course. And we will finish this off with True Strike. The spells we are going to start with here will be Chromatic Orb, 3 to 24 thunder damage, and Thunder Wave, 2 to 16 thunder damage. And we are going to be a Storm Sorcerer subclass. This gives us Temperous Magic. After you cast a level 1 spell or higher, you can fly as a bonus action until the end of your turn without receiving opportunity attacks. Amazing. This is how our array stands. We are really going to want to focus on Charisma and Constitution for this, which is why they are here. Constitution to make us very tanky. Charisma because this is what our Sorcerer spells will be using as its main source. For our proficiencies, I would leave it in Arcana, and this is more flavoursome than anything. I would remove it from Deception, and I would go into Religion, just to get a +3 across the board. Okay, for level 2, we are going to stick with Sorcerer. We're going to take the extra level 1 spell slot, 2 sorcery points, and this allows us to spend spell slots to regain sorcery points, which allow us to buff our abilities, or we can create spell slots and reverse it. Either or, and this is very, very helpful. Again, we are going to throw some more spells in here. We are going to take Witch Bolt, 1d12 lightning damage. It is concentration, and if you hit, you can then re-trigger it every turn. Now, for our passives, we are going to take Twin Spell. Spells that only target one creature can target an additional creature. And we're going to take Careful Spell. Allies automatically succeed saving throws against spells that require them. The reason we're not taking Distance Spell is because we are going to multi-class into Cleric, which means we can sort of get closer even within melee range and be okay. Extended Spell, once again, I don't really think it's necessary with the amount of spell slots we're going to have and with the damage output we're going to have. I don't think we need to worry about having these conditions last for as long as they do. For level 3, we are finally multi-classing. We're going to go into our Cleric. Now for this, we don't really need to worry too much, so I would just take Light, I would take Resistance, and Guidance. And of course, we are going to go into the Tempest domain. This gives us access to Thunder Wave again, but this will, however, use our Intelligence score. Fog Cloud, and Wrath of Storm. As your action, strike back at an attacking creature, dealing 2d16 lightning or thunder damage. Incredible. It also gives us our heavy armor proficiency and martial weapon proficiency. And really, for the god, you can take anything. We're going to stick with Talos, just it's the destructive force of nature, and that seems like a very thunder and lightning-esque thing. For this, you want to get rid of Guiding Bolt, and you want to put Create or Destroy Water. This is going to really allow us to get that high thunder and lightning damage and electrocute a lot of enemies in a row. We are sticking with our Cleric for level 4. Reason being is we have Destructive Wrath. When you roll thunder or lightning damage, you can use your Channel Divinity, which we have one of now, to roll the maximum damage instead, and this recovers on a short or long rest, I believe. Yeah, short or long rest, there you go. For the second spell, I would take Cure Wounds. Once again, we are going to be a Cleric, so we can get within melee range. Cure Wounds, just a little bit more health possibility than Healing Word. The only downside is it is a melee-based spell. Okay, for level 5, we are going to be dipping into Wizard. Reason being is we want the ability to learn spells from a spell book, which is going to be extremely helpful. And we are going to stick with the Wizard for 2 levels, which I'll show you next why. Again, spell choice here isn't that important. I would do Mage Hand, because that can be very helpful. I would do Light, and I would do Dancing Lights. We now get to pick 6 spells to use, and because we don't want to use our intelligence score for too many abilities, we're going to take more buff-esque things. So we will take Long Strider, we will take Enhanced Leap, we will take Expeditious Retreat, And then you've sort of got a few more options you can play around with. I would take Shield. I think this is a very good reaction to have. I would take Mage Armor, just for that little extra buff. And I would take Charm Person, because if you can land this, it can be very helpful. Your other option here would be False Life, so gain 7 temporary hit points. Again, that can be very helpful very early stages as well. The 2 spells I would pick here would be Mage Armor, so protects target from attacks, increase armor class to 13 plus its dexterity modifier, and it lasts until a long rest, and Shield. Okay, as I said, we are sticking with Wizard for 2 levels. The reason being is we're going to go into Evocation, and we really want this. Create pockets of safety within your Evocation spells. Allies automatically see their saving throws against these spells and take no damage. We can now add 2 more spells to our list. I would take Charm Person, as I said before, and Featherfall, as that can be a little benefit sometimes in the game. For our third and final prepared spell from our spellbook, I would take False Life with 7 extra hit points. For level 7, we are going to stick with our Sorcerer class. We're going to go level 3 Sorcerer, extra sorcery point, level 4 spell slots, and we gain a new passive. Now this is the whole benefit of taking the passive here. But to start with, we are looking for our spells, and the key one here is Shatter. 3 to 24 thunder damage, and creatures made of inorganic material, like stone, have disadvantage on their saving throws. This uses our charisma, and it's a great spell. And for our passive, we're going to take Quicken Spell. Spells that cost an action, cost a bonus action instead. This can be very helpful for setting up our thunder attacks, as I will show you in our combat tutorial. We are sticking with our level 4 Sorcerer for this, for the feat that we want to take. We get to add another cantrip to the list, and really at this point you can kind of take anything. We'll just take Rare Frost. And for this one, I would take Mirror Image, last 10 turns, and each duplicate increases our armor class by 3. This can be very helpful if you are in the thick of battle and surrounded by enemies. Having 3 mirror images around you, adding a +9 to your armor class, can be so beneficial. And for our feat, we're going to take the ASI ability score, and we're going to bump our charisma up to 19 to give us a +4. Okay, we are now at level 9. We're going to take more cleric abilities. So, Talos again. And I would this time do Healing Word. Not many other options here stand at the moment. I think having that extra healing benefit. The only other one you could do would be Prayer of Healing, which we will take, but this is only outside of battle. I think for versatility wise, Healing Word inside battle is your benefit to take here. We are once again going to stick with Cleric Food level 4. We have another feat available. We can add 1 more cantrip, so we'll take Thermology. And we want our ASI, Charisma, and Constitution. We have a +5 to our spell casting for sorcerer spells, and our Constitution is now +3. And at this point, I would remove Warding Bond, and I would take Prayer of Healing, just to give that extra benefit outside of combat. Okay, we are at Cleric level 5. We have a bunch more abilities, but this is the main thing we are after, Cool Lightning. It is a concentration spell, which is why we have bumped up our con save, and why we have a proficiency in Constitution saving throws from our Sorcerer class. But this is where the big damage comes from. And at level 3, I would take Mass Healing Word for your Cleric ability. And for our final ability, we have Cleric level 6. We get another Channel Divinity charge, which means we now have 2 chances to max out our Lightning and Thunder damage, as well as Thunderbolt Strike. We can deal Lightning or Thunder damage to a creature that is large or smaller. You can also push it up to 3 meters away. This can be very helpful if you have enemies surrounded by people, such as your more squishy characters like a rogue or bard, that sort of thing. You can push them away, much like you would with a Eldritch Blast if you have Repelling Blast, and this can save your butt. And the last ability I would take here would be Revivify. This is a very helpful spell if you run out of scrolls. Now that is our build in its entirety, so let us go into combat. I'm going to buy some very basic armor for our guy here, just so you can see how it works when he hasn't got any magical armor or any buffs from equipment, and we'll show you how it looks. Okay, so as you can see here, the water one has tried to do an icicle attack on us, so we're just going to use our shield, because we have the ability to. And there you go, we took absolutely no damage from that. Okay, so we are now our Sorcerer Tempest Cleric. So we'll begin by doing a Quicken Spell. So this costs 3 sorcery points, we have 9, and we get to cast a spell as a bonus action instead of an action. So we'll do this. to do something like Sleet Storm. So if we throw this up over, say, here, we can have a bunch like this, and then from here we can then do something such as Cool Lightning at max level. We'll throw it on, we'll say the water one, because that's going to be the most effective. Destructive Wrath, this is going to do the most damage possible. Now, it did hit your hero, unfortunately, but as you can see, we did almost 60 damage to it. Now you can see we made our concentration save just there because of our bonuses. And we just tanked a fireball and we still kept our concentration up. There's the benefit of having such a high constitution, but also the benefit of having the constitution saving for proficiency from taking Sorcerer at level 1. Now we are going to test out some more spells here. So we still have our Cool Lightning up, but we have things like Shatter. Now if we were to do this at level, say, 4 or 5, we'll do 5 for now. And we target this one here. We'll add our Destructive Wrath. This can do max damage, and because these guys are non-organic matter, they should have disadvantage on this save. As you can see, we did a big old chunk of 40 damage there. That still leaves us the ability to then, now, if we want to do, we could fly and get out of danger. We could recall upon the lightning at some point. We can do our healing spells. We also have the option, we can now do some meta magic if we really wanted to, or our twin spells. But we will do our mass healing word, keep our team nice and healthy. Okay, we are back with our Sorcerer. So let's test out some of the options we have with this build. So, Twinned Magic, a spell that can only target one creature, can target an additional creature. So if we were to hit that, okay, from here we could do Witch Bolt, and we could target the one in front of us, and the one behind us. And you can see we've got all this extra lightning damage here from the water, from the Sleet Storm. Some enemies that run through here will take damage, such as Lururican or Crank. Unfortunately, the flying ones won't, so it's not the best demonstration to show that. But we have a lightning bolt cast on the air one. We missed the fire one because it's too close to us, but it's not the biggest issue. From here, we could then, if we wanted to, fly away, or we could do a mass healing word. And as you can see, we've healed our character, we have Shadowheart back in the fight, we've healed ourselves. As you can see, the amount of electric damage we just did then, only 3, but it did knock him to the floor, and he now has the electrocution status. And once again, walked into the electrocution and got flung backwards. Okay, a few more demonstrations. Now one of my favourite spells in the game, Thunder Wave. If we would cast this at this level, and just throw things this way, you can then throw people into this area of just danger you have created. He now is electrocuted for 1 turn. We did quite a big chunk of damage there. We freed up some space here, and this is a really good way of just keeping the enemies at bay, keeping them within where you want them. And then once again, you can just throw up a heal and keep everyone nice and topped up. Okay, so we just got attacked. We now have a reaction. So we could do Wrath of Storm Lightning, or we can do Wrath of Storm Thunder. If a nearby enemy attacks you, you can retaliate with a burst of thunder energy, or we can do lightning. We will do lightning for this. And look at that. If that was a ledge, we would have just thrown them off into the abyss. Okay, and that is our guide for the Cleric Sorcerer Wizard Multiclass, the ultimate lightning damage dealer. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like, helps me amazingly. If you're new and not subscribed yet, like to. It'll also be amazing. Hopefully, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.